Have you ever felt like you're doing everything right in your relationship, and still, something feels slightly off? No major problems, no big arguments, but also, not the same warmth, not the same closeness, and you can't quite explain why. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people don't lose relationships because of what they do wrong. They lose them because of what they stop doing. The small things, the quiet efforts, the invisible gestures that no one asks for, but everyone feels when they're missing. And the hardest part, your partner will rarely tell you directly, not because they don't care, but because these needs feel too subtle to explain, and too personal to demand. Psychology calls this unexpressed emotional needs, the expectations people carry silently, hoping they'll be naturally understood. And when they're not met, something shifts. Not dramatically, but gradually. Your partner becomes a little quieter, a little less expressive, a little less emotionally available. Not because they love you less, but because something inside them feels unseen. And over time, that feeling grows. So in this video, we're breaking down 5 things people deeply love in a relationship, things that create connection, security, and emotional closeness, but that most people rarely do consistently. And once you see them, you won't be able to unsee them. Because these aren't grand gestures, they're small behaviors that make someone feel truly chosen. One of the most powerful things you can give someone costs nothing. But almost no one does it fully anymore. Your attention, not partial attention, not distracted listening, not responding while scrolling. Real presence. Because when your partner speaks, especially about something meaningful, they're not just sharing information, they're offering connection. And how you respond in that moment defines how safe they feel with you. Psychology refers to this as attunement, your ability to emotionally align with someone in real time. And when it's missing, the impact is deeper than people realize. You might still hear their words, you might still reply, but if your attention is divided, the message they receive is clear. This moment doesn't fully matter. And over time, that changes behavior. They start sharing less, opening up less, expecting less. Not out of resentment, but out of adjustment. Because people naturally invest where they feel received, and withdraw where they feel ignored. But here's what most people don't realize. It's not about giving attention all the time. It's about recognizing the moments that matter, and showing up fully in them. Eye contact, silence, presence, no distractions, no interruptions. Just, I'm here with you. Because to your partner, that moment isn't small. It's proof. Proof that they matter, that they're heard, that they're not alone in the relationship. And when that becomes consistent, connection doesn't just grow, it deepens in ways words can't replace. There's something almost invisible that keeps relationships alive, and most people only notice it when it's gone. Appreciation, not the automatic thanks, not the polite response, but genuine recognition. Seeing what your partner does, and acknowledging it before they have to wonder if you even noticed. Because over time, effort becomes quiet. They still do things for you, still show up, still care in small, consistent ways. But if those efforts aren't recognized, something changes internally. Psychology explains this through positive reinforcement loops. What gets acknowledged gets repeated. What gets ignored slowly disappears. And this is where most relationships begin to weaken. Not from lack of love, but from lack of recognition. Your partner starts to feel like their effort is invisible. Like what they do doesn't really matter. So they stop trying as much. Not consciously, not dramatically, just less. Less energy, less intention, less emotional investment. Because appreciation isn't just about being nice. It's about making someone feel valued. I see what you do. I notice you. It matters to me. And here's what makes this powerful. The best appreciation is the one that comes before it's needed, before frustration, before silence, before distance. Because once someone has to ask to be appreciated, something has already been lost. So if you want to strengthen your relationship instantly, start here. Notice more. Say it out loud. Don't assume they know. Because people don't leave where they feel valued. They stay and invest deeper. Everyone wants to feel safe in a relationship, but not just physically, emotionally. And this is where most people misunderstand what their partner truly needs. Emotional safety isn't built through big promises. It's built through small reactions. How you respond when they open up, when they're vulnerable, when they show parts of themselves that aren't perfect. Because in those moments, your reaction becomes a signal. Is this a safe place or not? Psychology calls this emotional validation, the ability to accept someone's feelings without judgment, correction, or dismissal. And when it's present, something powerful happens. Your partner feels free to be themselves, to express, to share, to exist without fear of being criticized or misunderstood. But when it's missing, they start to filter themselves. They think twice before speaking. They hold things back. They become more guarded. Not because they don't trust you, but because they don't feel fully safe being open with you. And that slowly reduces intimacy. Because real closeness isn't built on perfection. It's built on acceptance. So what does emotional safety actually look like? It's listening without interrupting, understanding without fixing, responding without judgment. It's saying, in your actions, you can be real with me. And here's the truth. Your partner may never ask for this directly, but they will always feel when it's missing. Because emotional safety isn't a bonus in a relationship. It's the foundation. And without it, everything else becomes surface level. At the beginning of a relationship, choosing each other feels natural. You want to be there. You make time. You prioritize without thinking twice. But over time, life gets louder. Work, stress, responsibilities, distractions. And slowly, without realizing it, your partner stops feeling like a priority and starts feeling like an option. Not because you love them less, but because you stopped showing it consistently. Psychology calls this perceived prioritization, the feeling of knowing where you stand in someone's life. And this feeling matters more than people think. Because love isn't measured by what you feel internally. It's measured by what your partner experiences externally. Do they feel chosen, or just included when it's convenient? Because there's a difference. Being chosen means you make time, even when you're busy. You check in, even when nothing is wrong. You show up, even when it's not required. And those moments, small, consistent choices, create emotional security. Without them, something shifts. Your partner starts to question their place in your life, not out of insecurity, but out of observation. They notice patterns. What you prioritize, where your energy goes, when you show up and when you don't. And over time, they adjust. They expect less, ask for less, depend less, not because they want to, but because they feel like they have to. And that's how distance quietly grows. So if you want your relationship to feel strong again, ask yourself, are you choosing them, or just assuming they'll stay? Because people don't stay where they feel optional. They stay where they feel consistently chosen. So now you've seen it. Not the obvious things, not the big gestures, but the quiet behaviors that actually define how a relationship feels. The attention, the appreciation, the safety, the presence, the choice. And here's what makes all of this powerful. Your partner may never ask for these things directly, but they will always feel when they're missing. Because relationships don't break suddenly. They shift slowly, based on what is consistently given or consistently absent. So don't wait for distance to become obvious. Don't wait for silence to replace connection. Start noticing the small moments, the opportunities to show up better, to be more present, to make the other person feel truly valued. Because in the end, strong relationships aren't built on intensity. They're built on consistency, on the little things, done right, again and again, until they become the reason someone never wants to leave. If this hit you, it wasn't random. It means something here applies to your relationship. Which one do you think your partner wishes you did more? Comment it below. I'm reading every single one. And if you want to understand what truly makes relationships work, and what silently destroys them, subscribe now. Because here, we don't just talk about love. We break down what actually keeps it alive.